quad. So.
Oh, I have to record that. Okay, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, let's come to a comfortable seat. Thanks for being here on a Saturday morning. If you always sit with one leg on top, I recommend like switching it up. I do it too, but it helps. The idea is that both hips will be open. And the idea is that the hips are above the knees. So sometimes even putting like a blanket or something underneath your bum will help. Just so you can find length in the spine. And wherever you are, shoulders up by your ears, give them a nice squeeze, back down. Do that a few times, and then on the last time that you squeeze your shoulders up by your ears, just take them straight back and down. Lengthen through the crown of the head and tuck the chin slightly so there's like length in the back of the cervical spine. And then palms face down onto the thighs, elbows along the side body. And just tune into the rhythm of your breath. Inhaling fully and exhaling fully all the way through every single cell of your body. And then as you are breathing, just starting to scan the body with breath. So you may just like be coming into awareness of any places in the body where the breath might get caught or stuck. We're not going to judge those places. We're just kind of coming into awareness. And if you want, you can think about using your visualization to create space on your next breath in that area. And there also might be places that are neutral. There might be places that are really light and easy. Same thing, no judgment, just coming into awareness. And then as you scan the mind, just acknowledging where you're at today, regardless of what has happened before or what's going to happen after. Start to watch any of these stories that go through our mind, like passing clouds. We're not getting attached to any of them, and anytime our mind kind of wanders off on a little tangent, we just lovingly nudge the attention back to the breath, like it was a puppy or a toddler or something. Maybe more compassionate with the monkey mind. Bring our palms together in front of our hearts. Let the thumbs and pinkies press evenly against one another. And then in the small place of your palms, if you want to set an intention for your practice, it can be pretty powerful. So it could just be in the breath or be present. But it could also be for maybe love or gratitude or compassion. Just letting it be one word. That way, if the mind does wander, then we can anchor ourselves back with our intention and back with our breath. So just think of one word for yourself that resonates. Hold it in your mind and heart for a moment. And we're going to inhale together fully. And then exhale. Follow the mind of the heart. The intention. Releasing the heart to the knees, bringing the head up slowly. Eyes brightly. Awesome. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Let's start with just some simple soupy rolls to get to the hips. So some people, I like to bring my hands to my knees. So what we're going to do here is inhaling across the front. And as we exhale, belly button back to spine. As fast or as slow as you want to. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel a nice little spot here. You can hang out there and breathe if you want. This is just kind of a nice, gentle way to stir into the hips. Ooh. One more this way, and then we'll take it in the other direction. So same thing, inhaling across the front, exhaling across the back. Whew. All right, then we'll come back to center, shake it out. Inhale the arms out and up, and we're going to press the palms out. and like interlace the hands and press them out. If you need to bend the elbows to make space for your neck, you can totally do that. So we're going to inhale here, and it's kind of like a cat-cow. As we exhale, we're going to chin to chest, belly button back to spine. So it's kind of a similar movement with the flexion of the spine. And then you can twist out and up. And exhale. Okay, one more. This time as we come up, we're going to take a little twist. So as you inhale up, we're going to exhale. So your right hand will come to your left knee or your opposite, whichever way you want it's fine. But we're trying not to crank with the arms. The idea here is that I'm like rooting into my fingertips on that back hand, rolling that back shoulder, lengthening through the crown of the head on the inhale. Exhale, draw the belly button straight back. So that's actually where the twist is coming from. And then allow the head naturally to be the last thing to go. Oh my goodness, Rishi wants to come do yoga. Okay, I'll let it. He's not happy about being sedated. He does not like the drugs, but hey, I was like, he can't go outside either because, you know, we have to make sure he's good. Inhale, arms out and up, and then we exhale to the other side. And the same thing, rooting into the fingertips and rolling that back shoulder, just kind of opening it up, lengthening through the crown of the head. Belly button draws back. Letting the head do the last thing. And as we release, yeah, buddy, yoga time. So take your left fingertips or your right fingertips, I guess if you're mirroring me, out to the left. Inhale with the opposite arm, and we're going to exhale over. And so if you want, you can come down to that forearm, but the idea is that we weren't collapsing on this side, so you're getting a nice stretch in the side body. And if you need to bend this top elbow at all, I like to play with the movement of my neck. And even sometimes like bend my elbow and press the back of my skull into my palm. Just because I feel like it gives my head just the amount of support that I need. And then back. The drugs kick in, buddy, because you're being really lovey. Inhaling. Take it to the other side. He's usually really tomcat, so it's funny because I'm watching the other cats. Well, hiss at him. They're outside right now because he's never lovey like that, and the other ones are like, "We're not buying it. We're not buying it. What do you want?" Yeah, I like playing with this, and just to see, like, for me, I think from driving too, I think we get in these habits of just like the mobility of our neck, and then I gotta shake it out. Roll the wrists a little. We're gonna come down. We're gonna come out into a tabletop position. So we'll roll the wrists and we'll stretch them. I'm gonna stretch my feet, so I'm gonna keep my toes tucked under. My knees are hip distance apart. I'm spreading my hands wide, and my wrists are directly underneath my shoulders. Here, you want to cat-cow with us? Come on, now let's start pose. Inhale. Exhale. Chin, chest, belly button back to spine. And at any time as you're moving through your cat-cows, if you want to move more organically, that means if you want to make circles with the hips or take it from cat-cow into child's pose, just have your toes tucked under and you go back to child's pose. That's going to be a pretty intense toe stretch. The next time we come through our neutral position in tabletop, we'll be there. We're going to reach back with our right ball of our foot, and we're just going to wake up the back of the calf muscle. So when I'm here on my wrist, what I'm doing in order to take the weight like out of, so there's not so much pressure on the joint, I'm really activating my index finger and my thumb, like the isometric. I'm trying to like, if the L shape, I'm kind of like squeezing them towards one another. That just activates, it helps protect the wrists. And I'm softly keeping a micro bend in the elbow. It's just a but I'm waking up the back of the calf muscle. And then from here, I'm lifting into my right foot lifts, but my toes are pointing towards the earth and my foot is really active. So I'm drawing that hip already in. I'm keeping my hips fairly square. So you can stay here. We're going to do a couple of little abs, or you're going to extend your left arm with the palm facing in. But I'm drawing the shoulder back. So we're going to, this is a sunbird pose. So you can stay here and breathe, or as you exhale, elbow to knee. And I'll try to keeping both hands down and just bringing knee to nose. 3 more. That last one. We'll plant the left hand directly underneath the left shoulder. We're going to come into a modified side plank. So I'm coming on to stacking my right hip onto my left hip, and you'll notice my left wrist stays underneath my left shoulder with a micro bend. I bring my right hand to my hip, and then you'll see this left shin or the bottom shin, you can keep in alignment. That's going to be a little more challenging for your balance, or you can kind of kick it out a little like a kickstand. With these back toes, there's a couple of ways. I like to keep my toes on that top leg pointing forward and parallel. And then if you want, you can lift your arm, squeezing the shoulder blades on the back. Same thing here. You can play with the neck mobility. If it's not okay for your neck to look up, then don't do that. Breathe. Now, if you're feeling like you got your balance super good and you want to lift that top leg for modified half moon pose, what? And then we'll come back. All fours, inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. All right, we're gonna come to the other side. I'm gonna turn around so that way when I get the side plank, I'm come back and use. So I'm gonna extend the left, follow the foot back, and just kind of rock it back and forth, waking up that calf. And then I'll lift the left foot, toes drawing down. Staying here. So it's kind of like, I always say like sucking the hip in its socket, but instead of just letting it hang there, that's my cue for me to like make it really active. And then either staying with the hands down or extending that right arm out, palm facing in, or drawing the shoulder blades back. Same thing here for 5. Knee to nose or elbow to knee. After that last one, plank the right hand. We'll take it into our modified plank pose. So if you use that left hand, maybe left hand comes to the hip first. Maybe you lift that left arm up. And the reason it's important to have the wrist underneath the shoulder in a side plank is that if our hand is a little bit too forward or back, you just won't have a very good foundation and it'll feel difficult and laborious on the bones. We'll come back. Oh yeah, forgot. If we're gonna do half moon pose, you lift that top leg. Whoop. Gotta get that moon energy. What am I talking about? And then we'll come back. Hands and knees. Inhaling. Cow pose. Exhaling cat pose. From here, we're going to inhale that right foot up and back. As we exhale, I'm going to bring that right foot forward. We'll come into a low lunge. Now, if it's okay, you can lift your back knee down if you want, but you can also lift. If the back knee is lifted, then we'll want to keep that right knee tracking over the right ankle just to protect the knee. If the left knee is down, you have a little more leeway as like if that front knee goes past the ankle a little bit, it's okay. So take your choice, whichever you like. I'm tented up on my left fingertips, bringing my right hand to my right middle of my right thigh, and then I'll take a twist wherever I am. Maybe lifting the hand, but it doesn't have to. But we're squeezing the shoulder blades on the back, reaching out through that left foot if you have it lifted. Exhale. Hands down. And we'll step it back. Knees flex. Inhale. Cow pose. Exhale. And then we'll take that on the other side. Turn around some of that. If you want to take the toe. So inhale on the left foot up and back. As I exhale, the left foot comes forward. We'll come into our lunge. Set up the foundation. Left hand to the middle of the left thigh. Plant that right hand directly underneath your right shoulder. And then take the twist. Exhale, release. Plant the hands. Come back to tabletop position. Inhale. Exhale. And then with your hands are directly underneath, if your hands are directly underneath your shoulders, bring them one palm forward. So now when we shift our weight, our wrists will still be over, our shoulders will still be over our wrists, but it seems like we're like in a modified push-up, because that's what we're gonna do, a modified chaturanga. Inhale here, as we exhale, bend the elbows straight back, booty up, chin down, and then we'll come out into Cobra pose. So when you get to Cobra, if you have any low back stuff going on, I would take a wider, like your feet are usually hip distance apart, but I would take them wider if you need to. Oh my goodness, you're so lovey today. And then plant our hands directly next to our sternum, squeezing the shoulders back, rooting through the 10 toes and the pubic bone to keep space in the sacrum. As I inhale, it's more like I'm reaching through the crown of my head. Exhale, forehead or one chin to the ear. Do that 2 more times and make them as luxurious as you want. And after that last one, slowly make your way up and back into downward facing dog. When you get to your dog, take some time to pedal it out, walk the dog. Same thing here, if you have any low back stuff happening, like I always came from learning like whatever your downward dog was, if you came inhale here and if you inhale forward in the plank, you shouldn't have to move your hands and your feet. So that's kind of like the lineage I came from, right? So that would be because everybody's bodies are different. But if you have low back stuff, sometimes it's okay to bring the feet in like a good foot's length, maybe let the knees touch the edges of the mat, so it's a little bit wider in a shorter dog. Soften the elbows, shake your head out. You can even shift your weight from side to side. That feels good sometimes. And if you're in a shorter dog, and then you bring your right hand slightly to the middle, tilting up on those right fingertips, we're going to take a downward dog twist. So I'm going to reach with my left hand, either for my right ankle or shin or calf, bending the left elbow, but I'm trying to keep the hips there, so I'm really twisting into that upper thoracic spine, if that makes sense. Yeah, shake your head out here. And then let it go. We'll tense up on those left fingertips. Now I'm reaching with my right hand to my left ankle or calf muscle, bending the right elbow, shaking the head out. Then releasing, coming back to downward dog. Pedal out your feet until you start walking your feet all the way up to meet your hands in our first forward fold, Uttanasana. So hip distance apart, spread out the toes, bend the knees, maybe grab opposite elbows, maybe even interlace your hands behind your skull and drop the elbows in. The tendency here is to lock out the joints and sneak your hips back. But see if you can bend the knees and let the sit bones come directly over the heels over the heels. And then what you're doing here is you're breathing more into the musculature versus hanging to the joint, right? So then I start to slowly straighten and exhale, fold. So I like to bring my palms to my shin to keep the connection and the connectivity of that earth energy. So from here, if you have your palms on your shin and you inhale, come up halfway. Really think about feeling that fresh prana all the way through your body as you exhale. And then on that last one, you're going to just roll yourself slowly all the way up to standing. You can bring your arms out to the side. Ooh, exhale, hands to the heart. And Samasthiti equals standing pose. So just take a moment. It's our first standing pose. It's your intention. I like to spread my toes and soften my knees. And Samasthiti means equal standing pose. So I like to even close my eyes, shift my weight from side to side and front to back, so that within my body, I know what is the midline, right? Where is center? And when you just come back to your intention, that's also your center in your mind as well as your body. Inhale, take the arms out and up. We're going to interlace all of the fingers except for the index finger, and then reaching all the way up. So if you need to bend the elbows, though, to create space, so the tendency here is for my chest popped out and away, draw the sternum back in towards the spine. So really exhale, crescent over to the left. Bending your elbows as you need, maybe moving the neck and head if you need to. And then on your next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, crescenting over to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, release the hands, cactus the arms, open the chest, maybe shake the head out. We're going to interlace our hands at our low back. So I'm showing you from this side because the tendency is for our shoulders to come forward. So I'm going to be really active about drawing them back. My hands do not have to come off the sacrum. So if you have low back stuff, this is where you'll stay. I'm taking my feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart here. And as I exhale, bending the knees, leading with the heart and the chest to come into a forward fold. Now, if your hands come off the sacrum and you start to straighten the elbows, continue to draw the shoulders back. Maybe shake your head yes and no. This is a really good shoulder stretch, but it is also super intense. You have tight shoulders. One more breath. And then as you exhale, release the hands to the earth or your shins. As you inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll send that left foot back. We'll come into our lunge. Now we're into a high lunge. So if you have any low, back stuff going on, oh, you can't really see my legs. Let me see if I push that back a little. I'll move this back. So if you have any low back stuff, what you're going to do is send your torso forward, and you may even bend this back knee, but right knee tracks directly over that right heel. So I find like I'm even can bounce a little. I feel pretty good in my center. So from here, right palm on top of right thigh, left arm comes alongside the ear. Exhale, or crescent over to the right. Reaching out through that left. Gaze can be down or up, whatever feels good. Inhale, back to center. Exhale. Plant the hands, step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose, let it go through the mouth. And then we'll inhale the left foot up and back. Throw the left foot forward. Coming into our high lunge on this side. So setting your foundation up the same way. Maybe even bouncing here to find your balance and your center. Left palm on top of the left thigh. Inhale. Right arm alongside the ear. As you exhale, we crescent over to the left now. Ooh, I know. One side is definitely the dominant side over here.
I feel it in the hip.
Yeah. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, plant the hand. Step it back, downward dog. Inhale through the nose, let it go through the mouth. Inhale forward to plank pose. So you can plank with the knees down. We'll be in that same like chaturanga position, modified chaturanga if you were down. Exhale, elbows straight back, booty up, chin down, and then we come out. Cobra. Take 3 cobras at your pace with your breath. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Once you are in your dog, take a moment. Inhale, look at your hands. Just walk your feet forward to meet your hands. You take your time whenever you get there. I'm going to be in a forward fold wave. Just allowing your body to feel. So it's more, I say bend the knees. Like some people are like, I cannot touch the floor. It's like bend the knees. Because it's really about lengthening the spine versus having the legs straight. Inhale, coming up halfway, exhale, fold. Just taking a couple of like Ardha Uttanasana, so halfway up, exhale, folding. And then the same thing, you can roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. We're coming up with a flat back. At that point, I'll let you decide. Exhale. Taking a moment. Probably got a little more heat now, right? Inhale, take the arms out and up. We're going to interlace all the fingers except for the index finger, just like we did. The difference here, instead of just crescenting over to the left, I'm going to bring my right foot behind my left, so it's a little dancer pose. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of just kind of like a little curtsy or something. And then since my hands are interlaced, you don't even have to keep that finger. I can press my skull back into my palms on my interlaced hands with the elbow up. That just makes it a little more intense in the side body, in my opinion. Yeah, so you're getting a side body stretch. It feels good, right? It's different. Now, if you want to check your balance, as you come out of here, you can extend that back leg as you come out and just make a little star shape. Shake it out. And we'll take that on the other side. Inhaling up, maybe interlacing all the fingers except for the index finger to crescent over. Now the left foot or the opposite foot comes behind. So you're making that little curtsy. Or you interlace the palms and press your skull back into your interlaced palms. Maybe the gaze goes up, but it definitely does not have to if you do not have any mobility. And if you want to check your balance, you can extend that leg out like a big star. Shake it. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, cactus the arms, open the chest. And then inhale, arms out and up. As we exhale, fold forward. Inhale up, out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, the left foot's gonna come back. I'm gonna turn around and see my back to you. So come back into our high lunge. We're setting up our foundation. We're gonna change it up just a little. So bring your hands to your heart. We're gonna test our balance. So if we find, anytime we try to do any type of twisting or we're doing our balance, it's good to find a drishti or gazing point. So that way you can kind of focus on that and you won't feel as off balance. So with my hands at my heart here, we're gonna take a twist open to the right. So I'm inhaling here as I exhale, opening the arms out to the right, but still reaching back with that left heel. So you can stay here, or on the next inhale, you can reverse. Inhale, bring it back. Center slowly. As we exhale, we're gonna open out into Warrior Two. So Warrior Two, just check your feet. Feet should be ankles underneath your wrists roughly. Feet are, the back foot's parallel, and that right toes turn out. So heel to heel alignment or heel to inner arch alignment. That's your choice. When I bend that right knee, it's pressing out towards that outer pinky, and it's tracking directly over that heel. I like to bring my palms up because I have a tendency to wear shoulder earrings, is what one of my teachers called it. I'm like, yeah, no, palms up, relax. So there's this idea of like expanding, right? So I'm pressing to the outer edge of that back foot in order to feel the inner arch lift, right? So that's where that drawing in and expanding out. So if you were looking over your right middle finger, that would be your drishti, your gazing point. Inhale, we'll reverse the warrior. Exhale, forearm to thigh, side angle pose. We link these. Oh, this is a good one. This is the dancing Shiva. So we inhale. So the idea is that we're trying to stay steady in the legs and you really get into the side body stretch. So move with the breath. On the inhale first. On the exhale, forearm to thigh. Left arm swings along to the ear for a side angle pose. Last one as we exhale. And then let your top arm bring you back up. We'll come into a center. So heels in, toes out, we'll come into a goddess squat. So same thing in our goddess squat. We want the knees to be pressing outward and tracking over the first two middle toes. You can kind of wiggle your weight from side to side. Maybe smile. What? And then this represents Kali, right? So Kali's like the destroyer, that scary ass destroyer. So if you want, you can do 3 Kali breaths with me. So we'll inhale. I'm extending my arms. I'm extending my arms and legs. As I exhale, tongue out like lion's breath. 2 more, just like that. Inhaling, everything up. Exhaling, let it go. Inhaling, everything up. Exhaling, letting it go. This time as we inhale, we'll parallel the feet. As we exhale, wide-legged forward fold. So your hands can be underneath your shoulders. You can grab your ankles, your toes. But the same thing here is that we want to bend the knees or keep them micro bent so we're not just hanging into the joint. Oh my goodness. My legs are shaking so bad. It's because I went dancing this week pretty hard. Inhale, come up halfway. As you exhale, really let it go. Let it into the earth. One more, just like that. As we exhale, let it go. Inhale, come up halfway. As we exhale, pivoting towards your right foot. Plant your left hand. Lift your right arm to twist. And then exhale, plant the hand, step it back, downward dog. Inhale through the nose, let it go through the mouth. Then we'll inhale that left foot up and back. As we exhale, we'll draw the left foot forward and we'll come into our high lunge. I'm going to turn around so I don't. Oh, my back isn't to you when I come into my warrior two. So finding your foundation in your high lunge. So maybe find a little bounce. Hands at the heart. We know where we're going on this side now. So inhale, find the length in the side body. As we exhale, open, twist to the left. If that feels pretty good, then as you inhale, we'll reverse. Really reach it back through that right heel. That'll keep your foundation steady. And then slowly bring yourself back, open, twist, back to center. And then exhale, open it out, warrior two. So set your foundation up here. Palms up. Make sure there's plenty of space in your neck. And then pressing to the outer edge of that right foot, lifting the inner arch there. We'll inhale, reverse the warrior, staying steady in our lunge. Exhale, forearm to thigh, side angle pose. Ooh, dancing Shiva. Let's do that a few more times. Inhaling, staying steady. Exhaling, side angle pose. Ooh, one more. And then we'll let ourselves come all the way up. Same thing, heels in, toes out. This time we're going to come into a horse stance. So the difference between horse stance and goddess pose is in goddess, we're trying to keep our sternum more perpendicular to the earth. In horse stance, my knees are still pressing out. You can have your thumbs in or fingertips in, up to you. My torso is leaned a little bit forward. So I'm inhaling here. As I exhale, I'm going to twist to the left. So I'm using my hand on my thigh to press that away to get into that upper thoracic spine. And then inhale to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale to center. Exhale. Inhale to center. Exhale. Inhale to center, straighten the legs, parallel the feet. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Whichever variation you want to do with your hands is fine. Release the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, let it go into the earth. Inhale again, coming up halfway. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, come up halfway. As we exhale, pivot towards your left foot now. Coming back into our lunge, this time planting the right hand. Lifting the left arm to twist. Exhale. Hands plant. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Inhale through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. Inhale forward to plank pose or modified plank pose by dropping to the knees, exhaling. Elbows straight back, booty up, chin down. 3 luxurious cobras. And then after your cobra, just make a little pillow at the front of your mat, wiggle your hips, and just observe the support of the earth underneath your belly. And then from here, we're going to start to cool down the body. So I'm going to extend my left arm out at shoulder height, face down. So if you have really tight shoulders, this is a shoulder opener. So if you have really tight shoulders, you might want to bring that left palm closer to your hip. That's what it would look like behind you. And then I'm going to tense up on these right fingertips, and I'm rocking my weight onto the left side. This top leg is coming behind my bottom knee. I'm releasing my temple to the earth, and this might even be, this is pretty intense for me today. So this might be enough, but you could always use the overpressure of this right fingertip to kind of, go at your own pace. Relax the jaw. Make sure you're not holding any tension, even if it's in the mind. And if this is like you have really open shoulders and you're like, man, this is too easy, the next step would be trying to bring both knees and pointing them up towards the ceiling. No, that didn't happen today. Inhaling here, one more breath, and then we'll come back to our bellies, and we'll start to take that to the other side. So I'm going to stay on this side just so you can see what that looked like in case it was confusing the way I explained it. Tensing up on my left fingertips now and my right hand at shoulder height. Rocking onto my right side. My left foot now comes behind my right knee. Yeah, and I use that overpressure of the left fingertips. So one shoulder is probably going to be more open than the other. That's pretty normal, I think, depending on like where we hold our backpacks, our purses, our groceries. Relax the jaw. Make sure the temple is on the earth. You're not holding any tension anywhere. And we'll come back to the belly. Press it back. Child's pose. So if you're wanting to breathe into the low back, keep the knees together. Your forehead may not touch the earth that way, and that's okay. If you want to take it to the hips or groin, take the knees wide and allow your forehead to touch the earth. Your forehead will probably be able to do that from this angle. If your forehead touches down, you can rock from side to side on your temples, just massaging any lymph around that forehead area where you know that little worry thing. Inhale. Coming up, hopefully we'll be in the middle of the mat now. I'm gonna come out to seated, bring my feet up, and then I'm gonna slowly come back onto my back. So we're coming into a bridge position, kind of cooling down our practice. So feet are hip distance apart, knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. I like to interlace my hands behind my skull and draw the elbows in as I walk my shoulder blades away from my hips. This just helps me find more length. And then as I inhale, I'm going to come into a bridge, lifting my hips and my pelvis up towards the ceiling. But I'm trying to activate my legs. So I'm really rooted into my big toe pads, sending the shins and the knees forward. I'm really trying not to grip with my glutes. And then exhale, just roll everything down. Take a moment to notice how that feels. We're going to do that 2 more times. And on this variation, as you root into your feet to lift the hips and the pelvis up towards the ceiling. Now, you can rock your shoulders underneath, and if you want, you can take a bind. We didn't do a crazy amount of shoulder opening, a little bit, that last one. And so here, like, say if you're trying to get your interlaced hands down, forever, I'd just be like trying to force my clasped hands. But if you think about rooting the elbows down and the triceps, that usually helps as you extend the feet inside down. And so you don't really want to be moving your neck from side to side in this position because your neck is in a really precarious position. Same with when you do shoulder stand. One more breath, exhale. Roll everything down. Feet as wide as your mat, let your knees touch. Just observe the feeling of that back bend, right? So when we do back bends and we take a moment to reflect on them, like this is more like engaging the parasympathetic, sympathetic nerve system, right? So what we're, the fight or flight or freeze, right? So it's like we get this like energy going through, and then we see how quickly we can regulate the breath. And that's basically what we learn to do in yoga. Last one. So feet hip distance apart, inhaling, lifting the hips and pelvis up towards the ceiling, maybe taking the line or flat. One more full breath. Lower everything down. Feet as wide as your mat. Knees come together. Just take a breath. Hands can be on your belly. Hands can be anywhere. You can even have them into a T or to a cactus shape if you wanted to. Just open the chest a little more as you're on your back. Now from here, I'm going to keep my feet flexed, and my feet are going to be like, if my feet are as wide as my mat and my knees are touching, they're in a good position for as I inhale here. As I exhale, I'm going to drop both knees over to the left. Now it's a little bit wider and a weird like little hip stretch, but see if you can soften the right glute while reaching through the right knee, softening your jaw, softening the right shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale, just drop those knees over to the opposite side. Same thing here. Notice if you're gripping in that left glute. See if you can send the left shin forward or even press through the left knee. And soften. Inhale to center. Exhale. Let it just kind of windshield wiper the side to side. So while we were getting into the inner groin and hips earlier, now this is more of an outer hip stretch, but in a nice, gentle way on the back. Hug the knees into the belly, rock gently from side to side. We'll start to do our last closing movements here. So palms on the knees, fingertips pointing to the toes. As we inhale, the arms extend. Exhale, knees to chest. Apanasana. Moving as quickly or as slowly as you like. The next time the knees come out at a 90-degree angle, go ahead and bring your arms out into a T or to a cactus, palms facing up, flexing the feet. Exhale, drop the stacked knees over to the left. Maybe the gaze goes to the right. We're going to be here for a few breaths, so let it be comfortable for you. Feel the earth underneath your body. Soften your mind. Inhale to center. Exhale, we'll take those stacked knees over to the opposite side. Back to center. Hugging the knees in. Soles of the feet together, knees come wide. So Supta Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose in the back. I'm drawing the heels into the groin. My knees are wide. I'm pressing the knees away from myself. But I'm also lengthening through the tailbone and through to the crown of the head. So my chin is slightly tucked. I feel nice and a nice length in the spine. And then from here, you can open up into puppy baby, soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Maybe rocking from side to side, maybe even smiling like a happy baby. Now, if there is any other postures your body is wanting to do, now would be the time to do them. If you just do something symmetrical like this or Baddha Konasana, you'll be good to go. Otherwise, as we are ready, you will start to unfurl out into your final relaxation pose of Shavasana. If being prone on the back like this doesn't work, you could bring soles of the feet together, knees wide, maybe a couple of pillows underneath your thighs. You could also have your feet as wide as your mat and your knees together, like we did after bridge. That will also work. And you can also come into a seated meditation. Wherever you are, take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, let it go into the support of the earth. Imagine your skin hanging on your musculature like a sheet as you soften the eyes behind the eyelids. Maybe even swallowing here and softening the throat and the jaw. All the way out to the shoulders. All the way out to the elbows. All the way out to the wrists, to the fingertips. Releasing the upper, mid, and low back into the earth. Releasing the hips and glutes. Releasing the knees, the calves, the ankles, feet, and toes. Settling into deeper relaxation with each exhalation. Soften the mind. Soften the inner palms. Soften the soles of feet. Settling into the support of the earth. Slowly begin to bring your attention back to your breath, back to your body. Just inhaling fully, exhaling fully. All the way to your fingers, all the way to your toes. Maybe making some circles with your wrist and your ankles. Stirring the body slowly awake. Maybe reaching overhead and taking a nice long body stretch. Let it go with a big sigh. Oh, that felt good. We'll do that one more time. Nice long stretch and let it go with a big sigh. Slowly begin to bring your knees into your belly. Give yourself a hug just for showing up today. That can be the hardest part. We'll just rock over to one side. We'll make a little pillow with that bottom arm. Just giving yourself a moment to come back to the present moment. Then as you're ready, you'll use the strength of your arms to press yourself up to a cross-legged seated position. You can keep your eyes closed. Your hands can come to your heart. Just come back to your intention if you set one. Notice if anything shifted for you today from the beginning of class. Let's thank our bodies for all the work that it did today. I want to thank you for taking the time to honor yourself and your practice. It's my honor and my privilege to be able to share my practice with you this Saturday morning. The light and dark within me sees and acknowledges the light and dark with you. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me for yoga today. Hope that was helpful for you.
Yeah.
Yay, I'm so glad. I'm actually going to be like, so this Bounty and Soul is a nonprofit that's based out in North Carolina. That's the reason why on the links it'll say like the Eastern Standard Time versus I have to put both of the times because somebody signed up, they're like, whoa, what time is it? I was like, it's really the time it is. And so they do like Zumba classes and they do other stuff during the week. They have a bunch of different teachers, but on Tuesday, they also do a slow flow, same time. I'll be subbing the Tuesday class this coming Tuesday. So if you want to
Same time, early.
Okay. Yeah, and the link is in my link tree. And then also I'm gonna start doing a Wednesday hump day yoga for some people that might be interested, probably like noon. It'll be on my Zoom, so it'll probably be like 30 minutes or something, like just a little hump day at a quicker version, because I think some people don't have a lot of time, but they definitely need to get just a little bit in midweek. Right. So yeah, so if you have any feedback, let me know. If you have any requests, you can always let me know and shoot me. Okay. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. This guy, yeah, he wants to say.
Yay! I love cat yoga. I have another friend that has a cat. Hi, buddy.
He's all sedated.
Well, when I used to do it inside, Kevin would always try to join me, and she's so interested in whatever.
Yeah, they're into it. They love like clawing up the mats. But yeah, the vet said he must have used one of his 9 lives because he came out unscathed. So he kind of got hit by a car, but not very hard, or because it's like out here they don't go very fast. But he had a little limp, so I was like, hey, it's not. I had to make sure that he was good. I was like, no, 1 more week of pet sitting, and I've already been attached to these guys for 6 weeks. Oh. I love him. So yeah.
See, I know. Earlier this year, you were like, I'm not a pet person.
And I'm like, I love this cat. Please let him be okay.
It's funny. That's how cat people start, because you don't think you're a cat person until you meet like a really nice cat, and then you're like, I'm a cat person now.
Yeah, that one. Oh yeah, definitely. They got their personalities for sure. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday, whatever you choose to do. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the what is that? The Vaquero Taquero thing coming up. Like in a couple of weeks.
Well, you know what? We'll see, because we were supposed to do it today, and then he was like, well, he changed the date, and then we couldn't do that date, but then he's changing the date again. So we'll see. Hopefully.
All right, I'm rooting for you because I need some curados. I need a skank in my life. I feel like that will make me complete, and I can go to the next level of 2022. All right, I'll see you later, girl. Have a wonderful day. I love you.
We're gonna be at Flamingo on Sunday too.
Oh, you are? Okay, yeah, sweet.
And Where the Culture is playing in Malanota.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. I don't have plans on Sunday, so maybe I'll roll through. Yeah. All right. Love you. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.